So I'm just going to do the intro again. So I haven't been keeping up on the Illuminati drama. About a month ago, Catster came out with this video saying that Illuminati owes taxes, I think about $11,000 in taxes, and that the state of Colorado is going to sue her. So let's check out these updates.
Go watch the video that I put up about it, and I go and break down basically the whole thing. You know, I think it's a frivolous lawsuit. I think it's really crap, and I don't think it's going to survive. I've now learned.
I'm gonna have to learn what that lawsuit is. I know she's trying to sue Oz Media for his house because I think they co-owned the house, and she's trying to foreclose on it. But this person believes that it's a frivolous lawsuit, so hopefully she doesn't get anywhere on it. Midna says, I'm sure she has $11,000. That's ridiculous. It totally is. Guys, if you are a YouTuber, legit pay your taxes. Legit pay your taxes.
That she herself has been the subject and is the subject of a couple of legal actions. And the first thing I want to talk about here is Colorado has what's known as a delinquent taxpayer list. And Colorado is where Illuminati lives. So this is public information, but this is from the...
Okay, so I liked how he redacted this. She apparently owes like $14,000 or $11,000 or $14,000. It looks like $14,000 total. How? Pay your freaking tax bill. Pay your tax bill. This is insane.
Colorado Department of Revenue, and you'll see Blair here, and I've redacted, of course, the personal information, and you can see that they show that she owes taxes from 2021 in the amount of $11,269, and she owes taxes from 2020 in the amount of $2,919. For a total, they're saying...
Like, she can't even pay a $2,000 tax bill. This is insane. Let me make sure the volume's loud enough for you guys. I always put it at like 210. Turn it up.
Outstanding $14,188. And so then I wondered, well, is this like up to date? Is there a chance that these have been paid off? You'll see here it says delinquent taxpayer lists, and it specifically states this list contains only those taxpayers that have not resolved their debt. So according to the Department of Revenue in Colorado, Blair still owes unpaid taxes. And I'm going to show you in a second that they've actually got a judgment against her for some of that tax debt. And we're going to look at that here.
So like if a bill goes like unpaid and it's at the point where you are getting a judgment from like a court, that's because you let the bill run for so long. Like it's beyond collections. It's completely beyond collections. So it's just like, oh my gosh, you really let this go. Really did. You really did not really want to pay your tax bill.
As well as we're going to look at the creditor lawsuit that's currently pending in court that was just filed a couple of weeks ago. So you see here is the court document that I got from the clerk in Colorado. And it says Department of Revenue versus Blair. Again, I redacted it. It's the Colorado Department of Revenue. On July 3rd, they got a distraint warrant, which is apparently what they call this particular type of action that they filed in the court. On July 3rd, the case was closed because the court issued judgment. My guess is she didn't fight it or try to fight it. And
maybe she didn't even appear. Like this is bad. This is bad.
It says status unsatisfied. She has not paid this according to this. And the judgment amount is for $26,796 total. And that's just the principal. And usually when you get a judgment, not only, I'm sure, has interest been accruing since she went delinquent on the taxes, but when the judgment hits, the court also starts calculating interest. So she's going to be responsible for that almost $27,000 plus interest.
So it's almost like she doubled her tax bill just by not paying it. Like, okay, you didn't want to pay the $11,000, right? You don't want to pay the $2,000 in taxes, but you're gonna freaking double it and get a judgment on you. Like that's insane. The judge has every right to like put a judgment on you for 26K. Makes sense.
In order to satisfy that, if she doesn't pay it, they may try to get a lien maybe on her house or on some other property of hers to try to get that paid off. So if I were her, I'd address that pretty fast, because the one entity you don't want to screw with is the government, whether it's your state, local, or federal government, because they will not ignore this.
Yeah. I'm wondering if she could potentially go to jail because of this. Like, I don't know how Colorado laws work, but like not skipping out on your tax bill is not really good. We've paid 11,000. I would have paid the 11,000 when I first found out. Me too. And I'm sure she has enough money to pay the $11,000 unless she's like completely financially irresponsible. Like, just freaking pay it.
I'm guessing she's financially not in the best position right now, in my opinion, when you see this lawsuit that one of her creditors filed. So this, you'll see, here's the complaint, and it says complaint under simplified civil procedure, which is basically like small claims. And it's Marshall Recovery 2 LLC, which is a debt collector, I'm guessing, against Blair. And again, I've redacted it. It was filed on December 5th. It says such claim arises from the following transactions.
Wayfair First Electronic Bank. So she owes banks, guys. This is horrible.
Failure to make payment on account with plaintiff's predecessor in interest. Predecessor in interest means somebody else originally owned the debt. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with what happens when
Rag
debt goes to collection, but a lot of times the original creditor writes it off and then they sell the debt at a discount to another entity who then will either try to collect the debt or end up filing something in court, or it could get sold again. And you'll see in a minute what happened with this debt. But it says predecessor in interest, Wayfair First Electronic Bank, Genesis FS Card Services, Inc. My guess is that Wayfair is like Wayfair, you know, the online retailer.
Oh. She might owe like a credit card. She might have gotten like a credit card off of Wayfair. Let's see. Let's check it out. Wayfair credit card. Yeah, I mean, they have. Let me make sure I'm not doxing myself. Because sometimes it'll say, like, when you pull up a website, it'll say the area. They do have MasterCard credit cards. So they do have credit cards. That's insane. So she must have gotten a credit card and like charged like a bunch of stuff on Wayfair and just didn't pay it.
So the amount claimed from the defendant is principal. Now get this. Is principal of $3,611.18 plus accumulated interest and costs. That's really weird to me, because you would think with all the money that she must make off her channel that a $3,600 debt wouldn't be something you would default on.
No. I mean, she got what I think it is she got a credit card. The balance was like for $3,000. She maxed out the credit card and just never paid it. That's horrible. Like, that's just completely irresponsible.
That's why I'm saying I'm wondering if she's having bigger financial problems than we're aware of. When you take a...
Dink and Derpy Gamer says, whatever the debt is, glorious karma. Am I right? So true. It is so true. Like, she's so quick. She is so quick to sue people. She's so quick to sue people, but she can't pay this simple credit card. That's insane.
Debtor to court, because I've been involved with similar cases to this. You have to prove the validity of the debt. And one of the ways you do that is you provide like account statements, and sometimes there's affidavits, and you've got to show the chain of custody of the note from the original creditor to whoever ends up with it and whoever ends up filing in court. You can see here are statements, and it shows that, you know, here's one for $3,811.18. I'm assuming that was the final one. You can see there's several.
Yeah, so it was a credit card. Like, why? Literally, why? The point, guys, the point of a credit card is not to like max it out and just never pay it. Just imagine the amount of interest rate that you have to pay on these kind of credit cards. If you charge anything to the credit card, my advice is to not only just make the minimum payment due, pay off the freaking balance so you avoid the interest. Like, it's so simple.
Statements.
And I'm very confident Illuminaughtii makes way more money than me. Way more money than me. This is a credit card bill that I could afford to pay. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Why?
Here that they provided to the court showing the progression of the defaulted debt. Now here you'll see what happened.
Hey, Patricky.
With this debt. So you see here, originally the debt was owned by Genesis FS Card Services Inc., who must be the credit company that provides the card for Wayfair. Usually third-party finance companies handle the actual administration of the accounts. It's no longer the retailer that does it. And you can see here, Genesis FS Card Services sold to Brightwater Investments on July 23rd, 2019.
Yeah, for April closing date, April 30th, 2020. So this is like debt that has been going on for quite some time.
And then on the 3rd of November, 2021, Brightwater Investments sold to BW34 LLC. And then on the 19th of January, 2022, BW34 LLC sold to Island-Wide Consulting Group. And then, I know, isn't it ridiculous? And then Island-Wide Consulting sold to Peppertree Capital Inc. on 19 January 2022.
So what normally happens is that, like, when you like have a debt that goes on for so long and you don't pay it, the debtor or the creditor will keep your account for like a certain amount of days. Normally it's like 90 days. They'll keep it for like 3 months and then they always sell it off to another creditor.
And then Peppertree Capital sold it to Marshall Recovery 2 LLC, who currently owns the debt and is the one who filed this lawsuit. And that happened on also the 19th of January, 2022. It's really crazy that you have all of these debt buyers and several of these transactions all happened on the same day, which I find to be really strange. So now Marshall Recovery 2 LLC owns it. They filed the lawsuit. She's going to have to answer it or she'll be defaulted on it. They'll get a judgment against her. It'll be for the principal plus the interest.
Yeah.
And then they'll try to collect it, believe me. When it's a debt buyer versus like the original creditor, sometimes original creditors will write it off and they'll kind of let it go. If it's small enough, these people are debt buyers. They're in this to get the...
I mean, she better go to the fucking courts. Like, this was probably a month. This was a month ago. So I don't know what Blair did in response to this. But she had better gone to the court or she had better gone to the creditor and was like, look, I can't pay this entire balance off. Can I settle it and try and settle the account? But Jesus, you let something go so far that you're actually getting sued over it. That's bad. I have someone at H&R Block I see every year that does mine for me. Worst fear is fucking up and getting in trouble with the IRS. So true. So true. Luckily, I do my own taxes. I do my own taxes because I know how to do it. I know how to do it. My dad taught me. So I guess like based Leah for doing her own taxes. But it's always good to go to places like that. Go to HR Block. I don't know. I wouldn't go to like. I don't know. If you go to like an actual accountant, please be selective with what accountant you pick because sometimes those accountants are pretty sketchy.
The money because they paid pennies on the dollar for the actual debt and now they want the full value of the debt because that's how they make their money. So they're going to try to get a judgment. I'm sure they will get a judgment unless she pays it.
Yeah, I have a tax lady. She's a sweetheart. Yeah. It's always, if you don't know how to do it, it's always good to hire someone. So W Midna for hiring someone. W Kangaloo for also hiring someone too. W Chat. W Chat for paying your taxes. W's. W's everywhere. We are all responsible tax-paying adults. How great does that feel? It's so awesome.
In the interim and makes a deal with them, and then they'll go after her. And they will file a lien against property or whatever to try to get this satisfied. So let me know what you think. Do you agree with me that it's kind of weird that she's being taken to court for a $3,600 debt? I mean, with all of the property she owns and all of the money she must make off of her channel, you would think this would be peanuts to her. But is it an indicator that she's in bigger trouble than we believe or know? Maybe. Let me know what you think down below. I also want to thank a few people from the Amazon wish list. You guys have been
Okay, so that's into more of announcements. Let's see what else. This is a thank you. Okay, so nothing really else in this video pertaining to Illuminaughtii. I think it's hilarious that Iilluminaughtii is getting sued for like $11,000 in taxes. She's getting also sued for this creditor that is demanding money from her. It seems like she got a Wayfair credit card and just didn't pay the balance and maxed out the credit card. That's hilarious to me. It's completely irresponsible. I won't forget the day where she had a video addressing all of the allegations, and she was so quick to throw it into people's faces that she purchased a BMW car for one of her employees, and look how all high and mighty she is for purchasing this car. And oh, he didn't make a payment on it, so I'm gonna go to the state of Texas and take possession of my car. Like, she even says my car in the video. Like, Illuminaughtii is just like a freaking bitch that is just so high and mighty. So absolutely high and mighty. She's on a high horse. She'll make you look stupid. She'll make other people look stupid or feel insignificant, or she'll belittle them for the dumbest things ever, but she can't even fucking pay her bills. Sweetheart, you are no better.